Okay, we have JP Veaudry from Jean-Paul Photography and Barry Dean from the Lifestyle Buz. We're doing an interview on JP regarding losing his leg many years ago. I'm just going to give you a little background on how we actually know each other. JP and I grew up together in the mid-90s. We did a lot of free surfs together, a lot of heats together, surfing border champs, development champs to start. JP and I had this little Kelly Slater, Andy Irons rivalry. We always took the top of the notch. But yeah, so I remember JP ripping with both his legs, and then which leads us to the dreaded night where he actually lost his legs in a motorbike accident. Speak us through that, Japes, that horrible ordeal that you had to go through.
Yeah, 29th of May 2009, I was doing a wedding in Thomas River, and it was just such a lovely evening, such a lovely day, and I took my motorbike with all my camera gear. I was supposed to stay over the night, so I decided not to, and drove back to East London. 2 k's out of town, coming past the Christian Centre, and someone ran a stop street, hit me and drove off. And at first my cell phone wasn't working very well, and then eventually I called my best mate, who was drawing at numbers, and yeah, he got his folks there, and we got the ambulance there. Quite a few people drove past, but no one actually wanted to stop, so thank goodness my phone did eventually work.
Okay, so if the person that did hit you stopped and took you to hospital, could you have saved your leg?
I don't think so. I think it was quite mangled. We'll never know for definite, but yeah. So what happened was they took me back to the hospital, and I was quite high on morphine, so I don't remember a lot. This is just what I've been told by my old man, and he said that they did about 3 operations, and what happened was my leg actually started rotting due to lack of circulation. And then the doctor said, after about 2 or 3 days, he just said, we're going to have to take your leg.
Jeez. What were your immediate thoughts like?
More morphine. Well, the first thing I said to him is, you're not taking my leg. I'm a surfer.
Yeah, that's the first thing a waterman or a surfer would think.
I didn't think whether I could walk or not. That didn't cross my mind. It's just, I want to surf, and if you take my leg, I won't be able to surf. And he pretty much said, JP, your leg is rotting. We need to either cut it off now below the knee, the next day above your knee, or the next day at your hip. He said, you decide. Let me know, he said.
Jeez, like it. So, okay, obviously you decided straight away what you were going to do.
Yeah, didn't have much choice.
So when you were in hospital, you mentioned in the documentary, which we'll elaborate on a bit later, you mentioned you did some research, and you came across this non-profit organization called AMP Surf Society. Now, did you have immediate hope, or what was going through your mind when you came across this society?
Well, it did give me a lot of hope to know that people are surfing. People have been amputated and people are surfing again. But you never really know. It's nice to know that these people are coping, but you don't really know yourself whether you can physically or mentally cope with such a ordeal. So it was definitely a bit of hope, but it was also in the States, and it's quite a long way away. So I didn't know how much hope there was for me.
Absolutely. Tell us more about AMP Surf Society.
Well, the guy who heads it, his name's Dana Cummings, and I eventually reached out to him, and he was incredibly accommodating, and he didn't see the fact that me being in South Africa was an issue. He said, JP, why don't you come over, and we'll organise something for you. He runs clinics. They cater mainly for war veterans who lose limbs. A lot of people have never surfed before in their life, but they use surfing as a rehabilitation for these war veterans. And he said, we're going to have a clinic. And he just said, just so happens they're having a surf event who caters for a division for amputees. And he said, why don't you do the clinic, and then we'll surf in a contest together. And he also said to me that he's got a university of kids who actually want to make you a leg. So he made my very first.
Getting goosebumps here. So then, yes, how long did it mentally take you you get to that point, like, I will surf again? And seen you surfing down the video and in real life surfing really well, did you ever think you'd get to the stage?
I wanted to, you know, I wanted to believe that I could, and I think that drive and passion to want to get to where I am definitely helped. But once again, you don't know your capabilities, and it is quite daunting, I must be honest.
Yeah, I could only imagine. And physically speaking, how long did it actually take your leg to heal, and to the stage where you actually went in the water for the first time since that accident?
I've got pictures, and maybe you want to post them on your blog later.
Definitely, it'll be in the gallery below.
I remember my very first wave. I got everyone to the beach, and you know, people said, well, why don't you just sort of practice, take your time. This was for about 5 months after my accident, but I strapped it on. I was very scared because I had absolutely no idea what would happen. I got Louis Wolf there. He was shooting for Zigzag and the Daily Dispatch, and pretty much all my mates down on the beach, and yeah, I paddled out there for the very first time, and yeah, caught my first wave and stood up very first time. So,
jeez, that's incredible. More goosebumps. I'm just like running goosebumps as the whole interview. Okay, I watched the adaptive surfing documentary, and this hit so many emotional buttons in a positive way for myself, and even my girlfriend was like, wow, she just got back from work, she just sat down on the bed, and she just, well, I said, Shemaine, you need to watch this, and more goosebumps. and at that moment when I was watching this documentary, if you want to watch it later, the link's below. But at that moment, I actually thought, geez, how fortunate I am myself to actually have my 2 limbs. But besides that, the camaraderie of you guys as team members and your full support for each other, I mean, that's a feeling that you can't even explain, or you can't. Do you know what I'm getting at? It must have been incredible, and the public support kind of put a tear in my eye. I mean, it was just emotionally amazing, uplifting.
Well, I mean, like how better to get support than from another disabled person. We don't consider ourselves disabled. Yeah. But you know, we've all been through an ordeal, so we can all relate with each other, and we all want to get to the same stage of surfing, and surfing well, and or just really enjoying surfing. That's really the top prize. So yeah, we just all boost each other. It's a great team. There's a lot of different categories, and it's just an amazing event, especially the World Champs, because it's not just South Africans, it's the entire world, and everyone has been there.
Jeez, like it. So in the documentary, I also noticed that adaptive surfers, you guys had different categories based on their abilities. And James, can you run me through a few of these categories and how the adaptive surfing format actually works?
I think this is one of the biggest problems that the ISA are faced with at the moment, because they're doing their bit to push adaptive surfing worldwide, but the problem is everybody's disability is so unique. You know, I can say, well, I'm exactly the same as another amputee surfer, but am I if another amputee surfer has 2 legs gone? Or what if his leg is amputated above his knee, you know, as opposed to below his knee? Or maybe he doesn't have any stump at all. So this is the problems that we've currently faced with, how to categorize them. I think we currently have about 7 categories, which is quite a lot. But if you see how many different types of disabilities within one category, it's quite hectic. I'm known as the AS1 division. That is, I'd say, probably the least amount of disability, believe it or not.
So is that like the open division in able surfing, or doesn't it work like that?
No, not quite. Every category is quite unique to the actual disability. The very first World Champs, I was surfing against guys with no knee, amputated above the knee, and that was an incredible disadvantage to those guys, because having a knee is so much more mobile. So they've broken those categories. It gets confusing, and there's a lot of categories. There's some people who are completely paralyzed.
Yeah.
There's people who are blind.
It's been going on for 3 years, am I right?
We've had 4 years now.
4 years, but every year they're learning. If they didn't have it, you would never have known. So I think every year, I'm sure every adaptive surfer is probably giving their feedback, and that's how they're building a stronger platform.
The ISA have mobility clinics where they can test these sort of things. I mean, if you go into the Paralympics, you'll see that they are constantly deciding what sort of mobility and what sort of category they have to go in. So surfing is no different as far as adaptive surfing.
Okay, cool. Okay, so how many adaptive world champs has there been, and how many have you surfed, and how did you do? 3 questions in one there.
There's been 4 in total. Like I said in the beginning, we were all thrown into one category, not one category, but very few categories, and then they spread us up. So it's been up and down as far as competition goes. But my best result is a bronze medal. I don't even know what year that was anymore, and I'm currently 5th in the world in the AS1 division, and I'm surfing against people who are amputated below the knee and people that have arm disabilities.
Okay, you mentioned Sean Thompson in one of our conversations the other day, and his insane intenseness as a person. Sean being a legend and an icon in South Africa, not just South Africa, but the world over. Okay, fill us in your chats with Sean. Did you have some intense chats with him?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to stay with Tracy Thompson. Tracy's smaller now that she's married, and that's Sean's sister, and they're just really awesome people. And then Sean comes down from Santa Barbara every World Champs just to offer his support, and it's quite awesome. Even though he's living in America, that he gravitates towards the South Africans at the World Champs, and we spend many evenings just discussing competition strategy, and it's really valuable to have that sort of insight from a world champion.
And I hear when he talks, you actually get so sucked in. Am I right?
He's intense.
Yeah,
he is.
Incredible.
I think he'd have to do what he's done. He talks about surfing pipeline and how incredible it is.
For sure. I'm still yet to meet Mr. Sean Thompson in person. It's actually crazy that I haven't. I've been serving for 30 years. Okay, in ending off, tons of respect for what you have been through and where you've got to, and all the other adaptive surfers out there. I mean, it really can't be easy. Thank you, JP, for this interview, and allowing us to touch on this and this inspiring journey that you've been through. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, Ray.
Is there anybody out there that you want to give, or any company that you want to give special thanks to?
I have so many.
I'm sure.
so many awesome companies just backing me. Quicksilver, Clayton, that's Gary, African Surfboards, Miko Coffee, Hurricane, Von Zipper. The Challenge Athletes Foundation is an amazing organisation that helps fund me. The RMA funded me last year. So there's just Miko Coffee keep me surfing early in the morning. So I mean, there's just so many great sponsors. I've just recently become an OSSA ambassador. These are the guys who make my prosthetics, and they're supporting me 100% as well.
That's incredible. So if you didn't get any of that, or there's more to come, we will fill them in below the video. And if you want any more information on adaptive surfing, you can follow the links below. And thank you, JP. Thank you for your time. And we're not going surfing now because it's blowing east, howling east, but we can get in the water tomorrow. Thank you.